Tired of gritty smoothies? Boring smoothies? Smoothies that suck. Have a seat and join us at Smoothie School. There are countless recipes out there for great smoothies, I'm sure, so feel free to search for those. What I'm going to talk about here is a template, and that is just a simple formula you can use over and over and over again to get great smoothies every time, regardless of ingredients. First off, let's talk equipment. I do have a full-size blender, but I prefer to use the old bullet, and let me tell you why. Because it's easy to use and it's affordable, and you can get the ingredients in order just by whacking it on the counter a few times, and also for portion control. Because left to my own devices, I will fill this thing up like this and have myself a big gulp of smoothie and drink 1,000 calories for breakfast. So this size it is. But if you have a Ninja or a Vitamix or a blender or a bullet or whatever, and any modicum of self-control, good for you. Let's talk ingredients. Mine are always based on fruit, almost always, occasionally vegetables, but the bulk of it is fruit, and it is key to get good fruit for this. And my favorite place to look is actually the clearance shelf at the grocery store, because they are super ripe, super cheap. So I scoop up all of those mangoes and strawberries, and maybe a little bruised, but they're probably perfectly delicious. Give yourself some time and headaches by prepping all your fruit in advance. Peel it, cut it, dice it up, put it on a cookie sheet with some wax paper or parchment paper, and freeze it. And then you have it ready to go every morning. Do anything, just freeze them. Pre-cut and frozen fruit is for suckers. Exception, wild blueberries, because it's the only place you'll find them is in the freezer, and they are delicious. Frozen already is not great quality and is way more per ounce than fresh. That's not to say if you're a person who's really pressed for time that it's not an option. If that's the only option you have, go for it, no judgment here. I like to use about a cup of fruit in my smoothies, and I found that that fills the container about halfway, so I don't have to measure it every morning, and that saves loads of time. I like to put the fruit in first, and then any powders I like to add, usually protein powder, second. I like to use pea protein, but if you're a whey person or soy, use whatever you like. While you're working on the powders layer, that's the time you want to add any other supplements. I sometimes have powdered kale or powdered moringa that I like to add. Another supplement I often include is flax meal. Even though this says hemp, I just recycled the container and I put flax meal in it, though the hemp meal is also good. At my age, you gotta keep the old pipes clean, you know what I'm saying? Or some of those powdered nut butters. I like this PB&Me one because there's no added sugar in it. Another time saver is to keep all your stuff together. I have a shelf in the fridge where I have all my smoothie supplies. So in the morning it saves me some time. I can just have it all there and I can grab what I need. What I like to call the creamy stage, and it's not required, but it definitely improves texture. This particular week I was using this Icelandic yogurt I got on sale. If you're vegan, of course, you can use a vegan version or avocado. I love avocado in a smoothie because it makes it so silky and rich. So now we have the fruit, the powdered stuff, and the creamy stuff. So next up is the very important pizzazz. Do not skip the pizzazz. Of course, you've got your basics like vanilla or cinnamon or whatever. Ginger is one of my favorites, but why not mint or basil or even a little citrus zest, orange zest, lemon zest, lime zest. Adds a little zing. Cocoa powder. Make it chocolatey. This will probably go in at the powder stage, but still it is more of a pizzazz item. Cinnamon, of course, I mentioned, but why not ramp it up and have some pumpkin pie spice? Be basic. Cardamom, love some cardamom. We're all out, so feel free to send me some if you have it. Garam masala, Chinese 5-spice. Get wild. Take advantage of those anti-inflammatory properties of turmeric, and don't forget to add the black pepper with it. You can spice it up, balance that sweetness with some spice. I love ancho. Try it with peaches, it's great. Like it really spicy? Cayenne. Red peppercorn, great with citrus things, great with stone fruit. Give it a whirl, maybe with strawberries. If you have orange flower water or rose water, those are a nice touch. Orange flower water is great with citrus items. Rose water is great with strawberries and cherries. If your fruit isn't that sweet, then you might have to add some banana. I don't consider banana the base fruit, but it's a great sweetener. Or honey, or dates if you like those. How about jam? I have this homemade peach preserve, and I have this boysenberry. Now it is mostly sugar, so I try to only add a little bit. Now you've got your fruit, your powders, your creamy, your sweetener if it needs it, and your pizzazz. Now you just need a little liquid to top it off and bring it all together. I like to use a milk of some sort. I usually prefer soy because of the added protein content, but you could definitely go almond milk or even coconut milk, though I would consider coconut milk more of a creamy ingredient. There's also juice. It's pretty high in sugar though, so I tend to use it more as a flavoring agent or just a little bit to loosen things up. Why not your favorite fermented beverage? I've got some tepache here and some water kefir, but if you like kombucha or regular dairy kefir, give that a whirl. See what else you've got in your fridge. Maybe some hibiscus tea or some cold brew. I love cold brew and a chocolate smoothie with some avocado. Now at this point, your container should be pretty much full. So give it a whirl, and if it gets stuck, take it off there, whack it on the counter. If you need to add a little more of your milk or juice or whatever, not water, unless you really have to, then try it again. Hopefully you don't have to give it a stir, but if you do, that's fine. And it should be absolutely perfect. Now, if you are a savage who does not care what your food looks like, you can probably skip this part. I, however, believe that we feast with our eyes first, so color of ingredients is important and how they are combined. I tend to group together ingredients that are similar areas of the color palette. So your reds and your oranges and your light yellows can stick together, and then your greens can stick together, and then your blues and purples, and then they can mix with their neighbors too. So if you have yellow ingredients, green ingredients, they're probably fine together. Green ingredients and blue ingredients will probably be fine together, and your blue and purple together, or purple and red together are probably fine. Orange and yellow together. You get the idea. It's when they start crossing the palette, it gets muddy and unattractive. Other takeaways and thoughts, don't use ice unless it's a last resort, or water, because all they do is dilute the flavor. And with very cold food, it's important to keep those flavors intense, because the cold is, it's numbing your palate. So you have to really amp up those flavors, and ice and water just dilute them, you know. But some things you can't help it, like the coffee one, I usually have to add ice. It's fine.